Hi guys, it's me, Miss Herlofson, and I'm here to read you a story today. Me and Miss Bach decided that it might be a good idea to every day have a little read aloud, so it feels like we have a little bit of that school that we were doing before, how we always enjoy our read aloud. The book that I chose for today is The Fantastic Flying Books of Mr. Morris Lessmore. Now, this is one of my favorite books because it shows how books can kind of just brighten up your day, brighten up things going on in your life, and I'm hoping that's what can do it for everybody today. So, The Fantastic Flying Books of Mr. Morris Lessmore by William Joyce. Now, this book is really cool because it also uses pictures to help tell its story. So see if you notice anything interesting about how the characters might feel just based on the pictures. The Fantastic Flying Books of Mr. Morris Lessmore by William Joyce, illustrated by William Joyce and Joe Bloom. Mr. Morris Lessmore loved words. He loved stories. He loved books. His life was a book of his own writing, one orderly page after another. He would open it every morning and write of his joys and his sorrows, of all that he knew and everything that he hoped for. The next part. But every story has its upsets. One day the sky darkened, the winds blew and blew. I like how the words kind of go off like they're being blown away too. Mr. Morris Lessmore right there. They're just getting blown away. Till everything Morris knew was scattered, even the words of his book. He didn't know what to do or which way to go, so he began to wander and wander. Then a happy bit of happenstance came his way. Rather than looking down, as had become his habit, Mr. Morris looked up. Drifting through the sky above him, Morris saw a lovely lady. She was being pulled along by a festive squadron of flying books. Notice here how Morris is still in black and white. The lady with all the books. What do you see? Morris wondered if his book could fly, but it couldn't. It would only fall to the ground with a depressing thud. The flying lady knew Morris simply needed a good story, so she sent him her favorite. The book was an amiable fellow and urged Morris to follow him. Now Morris is reading the book, and I love how the book is going, hey, come this way. The book led him to an extraordinary building where many books apparently nested. Morris slowly walked inside and discovered the most mysterious and inviting room he had ever seen. It was filled with the fluttering of countless pages, and Morris could hear the faint chatter of 1,000 different stories, as if each book was whispering an invitation to adventure. Something I want you to notice, Mr. Morris Lessmore, he's still drawn in black and white here. But the world he's in now is what? Colorful, huh? Then his new friend flew up to him and landed on his arm. It held itself open, as if hoping to be read. The room rustled to life. And so Morris's life among the books began. Now what do you notice as he picks up the book? And I can't be doing a little dance with the books. Morse tried to keep the books in some sort of order, but they always mixed themselves up. The tragedies needed cheering up, so they would visit with the comedies. The encyclopedias, weary of facts, would relax with the comic books and fictions. All in all, it was an agreeable jumble. Morse found great satisfaction in caring for the books, gently fixing those with fragile bindings and unfolding the dog-eared pages of others. Sometimes Morris would become lost in a book and scarcely emerge for days. Morris liked to share the books with others. Sometimes it was his favorite that everyone loved, and other times he found a lonely little volume whose tale was seldom told. Everyone's story matters, said Morris, and all the books agreed. What do you notice about the people waiting in line for a book? And then what do you notice about the people who received a book? At night, after all the stories that needed telling had been told, and everyone had settled down to their proper places on the shelves, the great big dictionary would get in the last word. It was then that Morris Lessmore would once again write in his own book. He wrote of his joys and sorrows, of all that he knew and everything that he hoped for. There he is, chilling in the big old, I believe that one's the dictionary. The days passed, and so did the months. And then years and years. And Morris Lessmore became stooped and crinkly, but the books never changed. Their stories stayed the same. Now his old friends took care of him the way he had once cared for them, and they read themselves to him each night. Then one day he filled the last page of his book. He looked up and said, with a bittersweet sigh, I guess it's time for me to move on. The books were sorry, but they understood. Morse put on his hat and took out his cane. As he went to the door, he turned and smiled, then waved goodbye. I'll carry you all in here, he said as he pointed to his heart. The books waved their pages, and Morris Lessmore flew away. And as he flew, he changed back to the way he had been that long ago day when they'd all first met. The books were quiet for a while. Then they noticed that Morris Lessmore had left something behind. It's his book, said his oldest friend. Inside was Morris's story, all of his joys and sorrows, all that he knew, and everything that he'd hoped for. I'll show you the page first. Then the books heard a small, expectant sound. There in the doorway was a little girl. She looked around with wonder. Then something fantastic happened. Morris Lessmore's book flew up to her and opened its pages. The girl began to read, and so our story ends as it begins. Notice, how is she drawn? Let's see, she's still in black and white. And then as she receives the book, she turns into a colored picture with the opening of a book. And that is the end. So you can see how the books in the story definitely helped brighten up the characters' lives and their days and everything that happened. So I'd love for you guys to tell me what books are brightening up your guys' day as we're away. I'd love to hear it. And if you want, you can even send me a video of you reading that book because I love to hear you guys read. All right. So tomorrow, Miss Block will be reading you a book, and I'm so excited to hear her read her book. All right. The Fantastic Flying Books of Mr. Morris Lessmore. Bye, guys.